This is your Ashes preview. My name is Adam Bannon, cricket super fan.
I'm Liam Plunkett. I still play cricket.
And we got Jimmy Jomboy O'Brien with us here.
Novice.
No, come on. You're more than that. You're a commentator. You're a cricket commentator.
Yeah, I became a connoisseur at times, so I kind of know more than like your surface level Australian fan that just, it's like background.
Yeah.
Like I've been in the weeds more so than I thought.
You're in it. So we're going to be breaking down what's happening with the Ashes, the teams, some predictions, the pitch, and we're going to kind of start with Jimmy's kind of perspective as the American who's been getting into cricket, who's enjoyed cricket, has got us out here. Explain for the American fans what the Ashes is close to in American terms.
Well, the Ashes it's awesome because I got into it because of the test match. Because during COVID, I was just there's no sports. I got to watch content. So I watched the test match it's a documentary series behind Australians test match.
The test series?
The test.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about. Anyway, so when I first watched it, they were talking about the different formats and all that. And it was just kind of like words. I didn't understand it. And then I got into the T20 World Cup. And you need the gateway series, basically like gateway drug, like T20, even T10, Abu Dhabi. I think that actually helped me out. I still have a fondness for that league. I know it's like crapped on because people don't like T10, but as a newcomer, like I would tell Americans, like go watch a T10 league, go watch ball and play. I've tricked a lot of people into understanding cricket in our Warehouse Games series by them thinking it's a fake game, but it's actually just cricket in Warehouse.
Yeah.
But the first time I sunk my teeth into a test match was the last Ashes, because that was our summer. It wasn't Australian summer, so it was English and U.S. summer. So it was like July 4th. I was down on vacation on the Jersey Shore, so I was able to watch it all day. And I mean, they had that one test that was just bouncers the whole time, which was brutal, but kind of like we were staring at it like, what the hell is this? And then it was also like, but this isn't good. And then England came out and they did the same thing. And I was like, whoa, this stinks, but okay, let's see what this is. But Russell Crowe recently said this on Joe Rogan, he's like, once you dig into a test match, it's kind of squashes all other sport in a way. A good test match. Like a bad test match stink, I think. Like the 3 matches that are just like come and gone. But a good one, what they got in the BG series, or I don't know how to pronounce the name.
Border Gavaskar Trophy.
Yeah, last year.
India, Australia.
Yeah, the Adelaide test and the Boxing Day test and then the last test was some of the amazing things. You cannot even sum it up. Like I feel bad for writers that are trying to cover it. If I have a really good baseball game and I want to make a breakdown video on just, you guys got to see this game. And I do that a lot. I just did it on the World Series Game 7. You can't do it for a test match.
No. Because
there's so many things at play. Like there's so many matchups or moments or this surface. Oh, but you have to know this. It's like, I would say a test match is like finishing a 700-page book that you never thought you would finish. But at the end, you're like, oh my God, like I'm without this now. You know, you're like reading the spine again just to stay longer because there's just too many characters and too much action. It's really nice. It's really awesome.
I think for the American sports fan, one of the crossovers you could say is the Masters or the Ryder Cup. You're invested in 4 days of watching a sport. You don't watch every ball, but you're going to tune in when it's, you're making the turn or they're coming into the 18th hole and you're building up for that final day, for that final, watching that final putt sink or what's that final over.
Yeah, it's passive watching at times and then active watching.
Yeah.
I keep saying it's like the Masters, and I use like, when they're at the turn and I'm in corner, like, oh, someone could really, get an eagle here or, they can put one right next to the pin. Yeah. And then other times you're like, all right, well, day 2, I don't need to watch them play the 17th and 18th. I'll just look at the score. And there's moments where you perk up and moments where, and I had to learn that. I actually started the first test match I watched. I tweeted out, how do I watch a test match? And that's what people told me. They're like, watch the first hour and then kind of it's background for a little.
It is very like the Masters in terms of the conditions do change so much in terms of the green gets quicker in the Masters. Golf and cricket, the wicket might get wore down. The pitch might start spinning. There might be cracks in the pitch. So it is very much like that. There's so much ebbs and flows during the game. And it is like a game of chess. Absolutely. It's when to know when to put your foot on the pedal, when to take it off, when to attack. There's so much little battles, one-on-ones between the whole competition, the 5 days. And when it comes down, if you win a test match on the 5th day in the last session, that's the best feeling as a cricketer.
Yeah.
T20 is great, winning a World Cup, but if you win a test series or the Ashes series, which I never did, but I can imagine that last test, the last day to win it, is probably the best feeling of your career.
Yeah, I think something that's really interesting maybe for the baseball fans to kind of get their head around is that it's the on-field captain is making all the decisions live. There's no manager involvement. There's no calling to the bullpen. It's all on the field. That captain is making the on-field decision.
Yeah, that's when I lived in Australia. That's how all the sports were at the youth level. My dad got in trouble because my sister was playing netball, and he yelled out just like, hustle or like, stay on her, like defensively. And they're like, oh, no coaching.
Yeah.
And in America, we are obsessed with coaching.
Yes.
Think about football. It's so tactical. Like NFL, the coach is the main cog. They're calling the plays and like dictating the strategy. In baseball, we love the managers. Like, did he leave him in too long? Did he not? Where I found in Australian sports, it's much more the players manage the game and the coaches have to back off.
Yes.
Which is more like golf or tennis where you got to, which are international sports.
Yes. Yeah. Whether it's rugby league, or the Aussie rules, that's all kind of linked into the Aussie sports where it's on the field, on the field players are making those calls. And that's when it comes into like the conditions change so much and the captain has to make the right call when he changes bowler, when he puts the spinner on, like they're doing things. I mean, you can talk about the foot marks in the pitch, something that you're playing on a wicket that's curated, and then you're banging your feet into the pitch and it creates scuff marks. And by the 5 days as the pitch starting to break down, the spinners are actually aiming for those marks to get a little bit more turn out of the pitch.
Yeah, on that, yeah. It's like a javelin throw. So if you're slamming your foot down in the same place over and over again, you're going to create like a crater. And then it's obviously hard to bowl because you're not confident at slamming your foot down. And then also on the pitch, as the weather gets warmer, the pitch gets drier. The cracks open up. Spinners come into play who maybe weren't playing or didn't bowl the first day or the second day. So that's your tactics. Your fast ball's up top towards the back end of the test. You might bring in someone who's going to spin the ball and utilize the cracks. Or someone who's maybe a medium pacer who bowls 80 miles an hour, but bowls straight, dead eye, stump to stump, and he can hit and navigate the cracks. When you talk about a little bit the baseball and cricket, I think a lot of people have asked me and fascinated with you have to keep the same pitches. If someone pulls a hamstring or rips his foot off, like you have to stay in the game or you've lost a bowler. Mm-hmm. You can't like go to the bullpen and get someone else in. So the 11 you pick is the 11 that's going to play the full 5 days. And obviously if you bowling back to back to back and you have to bowl the 5th day, it's draining. It's tough to be able to hit them top speeds. Both teams are the same. But that's like you can see how it deteriorates and who can stand up in the final day and bowl at 95 miles an hour. It's like you can't tap out, which is a little bit different to baseball, different techniques, different tactics.
Yeah, it's much crazier that the bowlers come in, bowl 6 balls, which is not a lot. That's less than baseball pitchers using their warm-ups usually. And then they go field. And they got to like be diving around the boundary. In baseball, it's a big joke that pitchers are not athletes. Like they don't even let them catch pop-ups. Mostly because they're standing on a hill. It kind of gets overblown. Like I'll have their back a little bit. They're standing on a hill. It's funky. They don't let them make plays a lot. They can, but it's a joke that they're not.
Yeah.
But in cricket, you got to have all-round skills. And you also have to bat. Like the lineup is the lineup, which obviously we used to have in baseball. We don't. That always fascinates me when guys bowling and then now he's diving at the boundary, like saving a 4. And then he's going to come back in. Like that's nuts.
Yeah, so the bowlers are making the defensive plays, like using the baseball term. They're full layout catches, they're full diving, they're full running after the ball, they're throwing it back into the stumps. Maybe they're fielding in short or they're fielding in the slip cordon, and they have to be able to do all of that and then come back to bowl another 6 balls. And then they're probably going to bowl, what's a spell, more like 4 to 5 overs, 6 overs a spell?
Yeah, I mean, probably 5-6 overs.
Yeah.
Some people get into a groove, and it sometimes feels like it's not that hard. You're just in a nice rhythm. But your out-and-out fastball is 4-5 overs. Someone like a Mark Wood, a Jofra Archer, Mitchell Stark. When you talk about, I think bowlers now have to be athletes, and they kind of lead the charge. And it came from one of the best bowlers, Brett Lee. You had these guys playing in the Ashes, and they would dive in full length, head hitting the billboards, and it kind of came from that. So you have to be an athlete now as a bowler, because you have to bowl, you have to be able to dive, and you have to be able to bat as well. Gone are the days where it was like a bowler's union. Like, I'm not going to hit you in the head if you don't hit me in the head. Like, that doesn't exist anymore. It's like you go into bat out there and someone's trying to hit you. Which is never nice, but part and parcel of the game.
Yes.
A spell for anyone, because all these terms are so fluent and then they're so different. Like even for our producer Grap, spell is like in the ocean, like a swell of waves. Like it's basically, or a set of waves. That's how I always think about it. It's like a bowler will come in and he'll go every other over for, like you said, 5 overs. So that's 5 times 6, 30 pitches.
Yeah.
But then they'll probably give him an hour off, meaning he has to play defense.
Play the defense,
and,
go in the
and
field.
stay loose because he's going to come back in.
Yes.
So it'd be like in baseball, it'd be the equivalent of you pitch the first inning and then you sit and then you come back in for the 4th inning and you pitch again.
Honestly, that's the hardest bit, is because sometimes if you start in the first session and then you bowl maybe 6 overs and then someone bowls well, it comes to lunch and then they start with that person who finished well, you might not bowl till the end session. So you just stood feel a bit drained, and then you have to be like, this batsman's on 90 not out. You have to get up to speed quickly.
Yeah. And I'm mentioning lunch. The game it's an all-day game. So it's 3 2-hour sessions. You're going to break for lunch. You're going to break for afternoon tea, or just the tea break. And you have to keep your concentration, especially as a batter. As the batters, you could be out there. If you want to score 100 as the pinnacle score, you have to kind of keep your concentration all day and accumulate those runs. It's a little bit different to baseball. No second chances. It's one at bat. And the test match game is the grind. It's the accumulation of runs. It's a test of your will and a test of your mental fortitude against the bowlers. How do you think they like that? For the baseball fan to kind of learn how that works.
Yeah, I think once you realize what's going on, and you're like, oh, that guy's just been out there for a long time. Until you do it, it's pretty wild. I think the fielders, I mean, you could be, not at slips or not at gully. Like, what's a defensive position? Would all the batters for Australia and England be in the slips or at gully or point? Like, all the bowlers are on the boundary in a test match. Really.
Yeah. Often because if it's they want to get a drink, so if they're on the boundary line, they can just keep fueling themselves.
But they're in the game in and out. Like who gets hidden? What if you want to hide a defender?
Yeah.
Say,
Fine leg.
like he might be in the field for those 2 hours of the whole session and never have a ball come his way. What's that position where you hide?
Yeah, it's like a fine leg or a third man. That used to be traditional, but since people like Sam Constas has come and doing these ramp shots, you can't hide anymore.
It's true.
So for the baseball fan, the position would be fine leg. So that would be behind the batter on his butt side, on his left-hand side.
About 70 meters behind.
Yeah, so the opposite of a foul tip. A foul tip is going to be deep third man. That's the foul tip zone. But you can hit the ball 360. So if you hook, what we call hooking the ball, go left field all the way around, let the ball tickle down there. The ball doesn't generally end up down there. Generally, it's a stray ball, a wild pitch will go, a wild ball will get down there. So that's where the bowler at the other end would go to get a break. Balls shouldn't go there.
So for Australia, I mean, I know Head puts the bin on a lot, but he's not in the slips usually, right? He's back there.
Slip cordon would be Kawaja at 1, Smith, Cam Green.
Well, he's usually at gully, right?
Well, it depends how many slips there are.
Okay.
So again, we
Marnus would be there.
I don't know if we can
slips.
grab. You might want to go and pull up a graphic of slips cordon. We can talk a little bit about that. So it should be Kawaja, Smith, Green.
Marnus would usually be there.
No, Webster goes.
It's Marnus is sometimes under the lid
Marnus,
as well.
yeah, he goes under the lid a lot too. And then you have Lavishane and Head will go under the lid normally. The first to go under the lid. Yeah. And then
does that mean they're I always thought they're lesser with the hands if they're getting asked to put on the lid.
I think you have to take one for the team. No one wants to do that.
It's more of a distraction.
Yeah, the distraction one for the distraction guy. Or also be able to have the balls to do that. Because you're literally standing this far from the batter, and if something goes astray and the batter just goes bang, you're getting hit with the ball.
People thought I made it up in ball and play because I was telling our big guy Joe's McFly to play, silly point in a way. It's I don't know,
real position.
And they were found that it was actually called that. And I was like, see, I've tricked you into learning cricket.
Yeah. But like your most agile fielder will probably have to go into cover. The
Point.
cover position or cover point, one of those positions, because you have to be able to, the ball actually got physically hit by the batter, and then you're bounding left or right to make a diving stop, and then be able to pick up one hand, throw to the stumps. Whereas the slips cordon guys are all waiting for that tip, waiting for that foul, waiting for the edge, and they're going to take it, depending how they're going to catch the ball.
A lot of the slip fielders now are the guys who've got the bigger hands, right? So a lot of the ballers have got big hands and they're practicing.
Is that how they decide?
Just that. Just big hands, big fingers.
And good eyes.
Good eyes.
Because,
Good eyes.
well, you could be out there for an hour and a half and not have a ball come your way. So to have the mental, to be able to stay in the game mentally is insane to me. And
Every ball.
maybe during the live stream, I'll pick your brain more on that.
Yeah.
Go into what goes between the ears in the middle of fielding.
Well, I can tell. I was just talking about that. While you're sitting there, like you're just talking shit the whole time. You're just talking shit. You're just
In
trying
between
to,
deliveries?
In between deliveries, yeah.
I'm trying to switch off completely.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be like look into the crowd, what's going on here, and then as soon as the ball's about to run up, then I'll switch on.
Yeah, you kind of take your 1-2 step and dial in. And
It's too long to think about the game.
Yeah.
You just drain yourself, It's like it's way too long.
So Jimmy, you got the slips cordon. There it is. There we go. So it's an interesting angle there, but yes, that they're basically there in the foul tip zone. The keeper there is going to be directly behind the batter, behind the stumps, and then first slip, second slip, third slip. The first slip is going to be behind and to the left of the keeper, and then second slip is going to be almost 90 degrees, maybe a little bit ahead of the keeper, and then you're just hoping for that foul tip, the edge off the bat.
What I love about that, I know it's Surrey, but everyone's wearing a beanie hat.
Yeah, I was like, what hats are they wearing?
What is that? That's England cricket. You don't get that in Australia, mate.
That's
you don't get
good old
beanies in
county.
Australia.
That's my old team. I don't think you meant.
That's your old team right there?
Surrey guys with the Surrey hats on. I love it.
Wow.
Funny.
Love that. That's
So
beautiful.
yeah, you could be standing there for an hour 45. Nothing comes your way, and then eventually one comes. We would say like a can of corn. You guys would call it a sitter, and you miss it, and like that's huge.
Yeah, because those chances don't come.
There's not in baseball. There's not many eras, right? Like if you've had a bad day, how many errors in the outfield, the defense would there be?
One.
So I think in cricket there's so many, and obviously in the field a lot more, but there's misfields all the time.
Yeah, it's different. Well, because baseball needs outs for it to work. You need to get 27 to win the game, and it's just the nature of like the way the sport. Like if they didn't wear gloves, that it wouldn't exist. It would just suck.
Yeah.
Because like you outs are often, where cricket outs are rare, and runs are often. So the pressure on making the out in cricket is much higher. But imagine if there was never mistakes and everything got caught and every ground ball hit stumps, the game would stink if outs were easy.
Yeah.
So that's why, but baseball needs that. So that's why they wear gloves. Like it's not because it's like the game flow depends on outs being made.
Yeah.
When cricket depends on drops and depends on misfields. Otherwise, if you had every ball that got hit was a clean run, or like if the fielder fielded it and they got him out, it would be a very quick, boring game.
Be quick game.
That's true.
Yes. So Jimmy, I want you to give me your predictions for the Ashes, knowing that maybe you don't know. We got the update on the two big injuries.
Hamstring horror.
Cummins is out. Hazelwood is out. We're gonna have a debutant most likely come into it. Doggett, the first time bowling. He just took a 5-wicket haul in the Shield game. But yeah, and then Boland will be activated to the main squad. So no Cummins. Smith is captain, and most likely most likely Weatherald will come into the opening position.
What about on England's side?
That's the Aussie stance.
That's where we stand. We're in shambles a little bit.
England have got the full barrage. They're ready to go. So I think you're going to go with Wood, Archer, maybe Gus Atkinson, and maybe Cars, I think. But I think what I like about the England team is the set back lineup. They've been playing together now for a while. And the bowlers, both sides are kind of injury prone. I don't like to say it because I know a lot of the guys, but there's potential injuries on both sides. But first test, England have a great chance. If Australia had Cummins and Hazelwood, it'd be a big struggle. But now I think England got a full attack and Australia weak, with also not a set batting lineup. I fancy England's chances, but that's
your little, yeah.
Well, Jafra and Wood Are they just need to hit their line on these decks because they're going to be active, right? So you got to be accurate.
I think so as well. I think you've got
these
the clip
decks. You can bring up the clip of the Green Monster. I was going to talk about these pitch. Green Monster, the Optus Stadium. So this isn't the Wacker. Normally when we talk about Perth, we talk about the Wacker Stadium. This is the new stadium they built in WA, Optus Stadium. They have a drop-in pitch. It is green. I like to look. I think we're playing golf here. I think this is a manicured golf green. It's a par 3. It's probably rolling at about a 13. I'm not a fan of green wickets. I want roads. I want a flat road. I want a road just like this table right here. I want a flat road.
But they're not going to play on that. They're going to mow it. They're going to roll it. It's going to get cut before the actual day.
Yeah, I want to see. I want to see more of a road. It's a little too green for me. This is a bowler's paradise right here.
What is that? Pitch Perth, England's worst nightmare. We play in England. We come from grass wickets.
Yeah, what is that?
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
That's more in favour of England, right?
It is. If you win the toss here, you want to bowl. This is a win the toss and bowl first, which isn't traditional. Traditionally, you want to win the toss and back. Because it's Australia, the wickets are flat and hard, and they're making these pitches for the bowlers.
For Boland.
For Boland. For Boland to bowl. Whoever wins the toss, it should bowl. And honest, at this point, you'd probably say, England may have the upper hand in the bowling department.
How does England do against pace? Because the Aussie bats struggle against pace. Like the West Indies, Archer, was that his name? He tore through them at home. And they've struggled recently with pace. And the 11 isn't changing.
I think it's different in Australia because you have like that extra bounce. I think it's not the pace, it's the bounce.
It's the Aussie wickets because Boomerang kind of went through them, and Siraj was like up there last year with bowling for India. And I think Wood's going to come in with a little bit extra heat. Yep. So he's going to be looking to use the bounce, and so for Archer also using the bounce. So like the wickets conditions in Australia suit the faster, hard hitting wicket bowlers.
When did they go? When did that kid from Guyana on West Indies? When did he bowl through? Australia. It was like 2 summers ago.
It
was in Australia.
Was it Seal, the one who got 5 for?
No. It was one of
the guy who bowled at you in the nets, right?
No, not him. I'm talking about his name's Archer.
Oh, no. Joffre Archer.
No.
We're gonna have to.
God, easy. It was his debut. He hurt his ankle, and they thought he broke his ankle, and then he came back and was like barefoot, and it came down to Smith was at the end, but he got 5 for on him with a sprained ankle or something.
Before you give the prediction, Australia played India last year, November 22. There was 17 wickets in the first day. So that was on this pitch.
Shamar Joseph.
Joseph.
Yeah.
Shamar, right?
Shamar Joseph,
Yes.
took 5 wickets.
So 70 wickets on the first day. That was Australia versus India, November 22 last year. The curator of this green monster, Isaac McDonnell, is putting his job on the line, apparently. He's willing to throw it out there. He wants to. He's going to leave grass on it, but he expects the game to go through to 4-5 days.
Well, I think that in the trying to get the best result for a third-party fan, I actually kind of root for Australia because I live there a little bit, but I more want the game. Like I'd rather Australia lose in 5 than see them win in 3. Because I'd rather the entertainment, if that makes sense. England's got to win this one because Australia's just got to retain the Ashes. They don't need to win the Ashes. So it sets up for a better series moving on that England has won one. Also, Australia gets to say, well, we didn't have Hazelwood and we didn't have Cummins and they're coming back. So now you've got a whole new element for the second one. Where if Australia wins this one and then they get the returns, it starts feeling like, well, they're going to win these. They're going to retain.
Because you think we almost put it in the books. They win the Gabber test. It's the day-night test. Mitchell Starc, the king of the pink ball. You just think he's going to clean up that. I don't think they've ever lost it. They've lost the pink ball test. I'm not sure, but we can look into that. But they're very, very good. Mitchell Starc especially very good at the pink ball test. And then I think the pivotal test is the MCG test. Yeah. I think that's going to be where it's either Root scores his 100 and he makes it in Australia, or Smith goes out and scores the runs for Australia.
Well, who does Australia have that they haven't debuted yet?
Doggett?
Debuted. Doggett's going to make a debut.
Okay, so save him for Boxing Day. You could go Boland, Constas. You need a remarkable rookie debut.
You need someone to come and debut out of the box for Boxing Day.
Yeah, because 2 Ashes ago in Australia was Boland.
Yes.
Then that was Constas was Australia. It was in India though. But it would be 3 Boxing Days in a row.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Correct?
what happened last year was they picked McSweeney. They picked McSweeney to open. He
was
went
scared.
bad, 2 bad tests, and then maybe even 3 bad tests. 2 bad tests, and then they played the Boxing Day test. They picked Constis. So right now they're going to pick Weatherald. If Weatherald has 2 bad inningses,
Which you will. Yep.
then they may pick someone else. Would they? Would they go? I don't know why they're not picking Renshaw. I'm still on this whole Renshaw debate. This scored 100.
I don't think you can get someone in the test and play 2 games and drop them.
They did that for McSweeney.
but,
McSweeney.
but he looked very scared.
He did look scared. I mean, I think anyone would be scared to Boomerang. I think Boomerang kind of made everyone look bad.
You needed someone young and dumb enough to take him on.
He
And that's
did.
exactly. It was kind of a great call by Australia. Like Constance may not have been ready for to like be on the team.
Yeah.
But he was young and dumb enough to just be like, I don't care.
I'm going to
ramp Boomerang.
Boomerang for 6.
I'm 19. What do I have to lose?
It might give you some 4. Well, do you think these are going to get beat? So I'm going to go with the fastest ball in Ashes history. Mitchell Johnson, 97.4 miles per hour.
He holds the record.
He holds the record. That's in the Ashes, not in World Cricket.
How fast is Wood? Because Wood in the last Ashes in England, when he came in the 3rd test or whatever, I forget the 2nd or 3rd.
96, 97, yeah.
It looked like seeds. It looked fast.
Then we have highest Ashes score. Len Hutton, back in the day, 364. That's not getting beat.
I don't think so.
Highest team score by England in 1983 was 903 for 7.
903 for 7. Wow.
That's England. And lowest score was 36 by Australia in 1902.
Wow.
I think they're all safe.
Yeah. So they probably
Maybe the pace, maybe your point on
they probably are all safe.
someone's going to bowl 98 maybe.
Yes. So your prediction.
For just this test,
This test and then for the series.
let's have England win this one in 5 days.
In 5 days, yep.
I'm just trying to set up good drama.
Yep.
You know, we need the newspaper writers and everyone to start clicking. I love the Ashes because the reactions are just so the vulgar in happy. We're gonna crush you. Sad. There will be no rain, right, in Australia?
No, there will definitely be some rain.
Really?
I think it's raining right now in Perth.
Melbourne?
There's been some showers in Perth. Melbourne is a 4-season
In a day.
location. They can rain and shine.
We had in the Ashes test, Christmas Day, we practiced and it was actually hail. It was like snow. And then
Hail-
Boxing
hail
Day,
and
it
snow,
was the weather was great.
Yeah.
I have Marnus making his return to Pest and Glory
Okay. Minus making a century.
because I'm just naming things I want to see.
Okay, yeah. tell me
No,
the
no,
things
no.
you- tell me
Not
the
a
things you wanna see.
not a century, but a annoying 50. Like deadens the ball. They can't get him out. Kind of what he did against Bumrah.
Okay.
For India, where I'm at that level of enjoying Test cricket where I'm like, this is huge.
Yeah.
He's not scoring runs, but he is setting up
Setting it up.
Head and Smudge at that time. To
Tiring.
go off later.
Tiring the bowler out, taking the shine off the ball.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Good job.
And he's very annoying about it, which I like.
No ride.
Yeah. Yeah, he was just getting in people's faces. I like watching Duckett play because he's so compact. It just looks different. And like Joe Root should go off. You want your greats to be great. So
Ruti made a point, I'm not sure. I'm guessing he was serious. He'd be like, I'd rather just England win. I don't really care about the century. If I got 5 scores of 50 and we won the series, then I'm happy boy. So
Yeah.
But he wants that 100.
He
Of
wants
course
100.
he
He
wants.
wants 100. I think we all want the 100.
He's
I think
better than the average Joe, you know?
He's better than the average.
I'm
the
so
average-
surprised
the average Joe.
that they, when they score 100, they do everything they do, take the helmet off, jump and scream. And in baseball, there's a big theory that I was taught by Peter Moylan, an Australian who was a Major League Baseball pitcher, that if you watch a baseball game and the pitcher gets the last out of the inning, a reliever especially, who his whole prep is for a short burst. Like think of like 3 overs in a row. Like, they're going to throw 15 to 20 pitches. And there's a thing about don't drop your adrenaline. So if they get the last out of the inning and you see them screaming and yelling as they walk off the mound, then they have to go sit down and wait. There's a whole theory that like don't bring him back in because he dumped his adrenaline. When you watch a baseball game, you'll actually see veteran relievers not celebrate, just like get that out and walk in. And now we know, okay, manager might have told him you're going for 2 innings today. You're bringing back in. So like if you're a batter, it's so reserved, and then to like do all that screaming and emoting, and when you get 100, and then just now go back to like that brain that got you there, like it's a whole different place. I'm surprised they do it.
To that point, so many people get out like 101, 105, or the next game they'll get out for a duck.
Yeah.
It's crazy how that happens. Just even club cricket, someone will get 100. The next week, he's getting a duck.
Yeah. Or it's you either you get score your 50 at next ball, or you score your 100 and you get out.
Yeah.
I don't know if maybe when I scored my first 100, it was just like a place that I can now break the shackles. I can now just free hit. Because some people, like, they're in their rhythm and they're like, we're just going to knock the ball around all day. We're going to be meticulous. And then once they get to their 100, it's like, okay, let's break the shackles. And then that's when they start throwing caution to the wind and then they get themselves out.
Yep. So good. That was your prediction?
England in 5. Australia retains the Ashes or wins, though.
Okay.
There you go. Perfect.
Take it.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Thank you, guys.
That's cricket.
Excited.
Thanks, Jimmy, for stopping by. We are also going to be live. Jimmy will be with us live for the first session, for the first day of the Ashes. So, teams, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Thursday the 20th time zones. Thursday, USA time.
Yeah, it is
9:30. So we'll be staying up through the night, covering the Ashes. We'll have 3 of us in the live stream lounge. Commentary, behind the scenes, banter, all that kind of stuff.
I'm excited.
Following along. And then, yes, obviously all your coverage of the Ashes right here at That's Cricket. So we're going to get a little more deep, a little more into the weeds, and talk about my personal predictions and how I think it's going to go and what the Australian team is doing. What the duck are they doing? What the duck are they doing? So, as it stands right now, we're going to have Usman Khawaja and Weatherald opening the batting. Weatherald scored, a lot of runs in domestic cricket for Australia. He's going to most likely making his debut. There was talk of having Marnus come up to open the batting. He doesn't want to do that. He doesn't like doing that, and that doesn't work. I mean, like I said, we had McSweeney coming to try to do that last year. McSweeney is a number 3 batter. They tried to squeeze him into the side last year for Border Gavaskar Trophy for the Summer of Cricket. Didn't work. Didn't do very well. And thinking about it now, he's not even in the picture. He's not even debated about. He's not even asked. He hasn't even been mentioned. But you think about this, last year, he was the guy they wanted to put in at opener, not a sniff at all, right? He's just named off the list. Now we're going with Weatherald. Obviously, he is a legit opener, left-handed opener. We got Usman and Weatherald as left-handed openers. And you mentioned that is a particular nightmare for Australia / dream for England and Jofra Archer from the way that he bowls. Honestly, like my personal take on Khawaja, we're going to be real. This is his last series. Mm-hmm. It's his last series. He's 38. David Warner was his opening partner and mate. And I think that the Australian cricket team and Australia as a whole they probably realized last year what is a big miss having David Warner in at the top of the order, what he did for them. He was able to be aggressive. He played baseball on his own. He was aggressive straight out of the gun. He'd score a century before lunch. He would be able to keep the pressure off Khawaja. Khawaja was the man at the other end that held up the end. Because you have to bat in the partnership. You've got to be able to hold up an end. That's part of Test cricket is one person's hitting the singles, one person's being aggressive. And that relieved the pressure off everyone in the order. It took pressure off Marnus. It took pressure off Smith. It took pressure off Head. And we got into the situation last summer. 1 is out, 2 is out, 3 is out, and now we're like, oh, pressure's on Smith, pressure's on Head, and then it's down to 6. And last year we saw like Alex Carey and Bo Webster getting a lot of the runs, doing a lot of work for Australia. Haven't even got down the order yet, but most likely Webster may not even get a C in this series. He may not even get a look in. They're going to go with Cam Green. I mean, I could raffle all day about this, but like I don't know what the heck Cam Green is doing in the side. I don't know what he did to get the selectors dialed in, but he's there.
He bowled 140k this week, mate. Apparently,
he bowled 140 clicks.
Yeah, apparently
he's getting dialed in.
When you talk about Warner, I totally agree because he would put away the bad ball. Also, he could put away the good ball.
He just had that intent, go out for it.
And that's, I think, England's ducket.
Yes.
Is very similar to that.
Yes.
So it's you call it bad ball, ball, but it's very aggressive because Duckett's going to smoke your bad ball. He's not going to leave many. And then the pressure goes straight onto the bowlers. the balls get put under the pump straight away, and then obviously that frees up number 3, number 4, number 5 to play their natural game.
Yes.
Obviously, there's a risk with him because he's positive, but also he can get away from you. And England have often scored 70 off the first 10. Or you look at like 35 off 3 overs because they don't miss out.
Getting away early.
Him and Crawley will play, they will hit the bad ball, and they can put pressure on Australia straight away.
I think Duggett has the least dot balls. He's a least dot ball batter in Test cricket. He doesn't leave the ball.
Yeah.
He just hits everything, and that's good. It's positive intent. Obviously, you may leave a couple, but he gets on the front foot early. He's trying to get positive with his batting, and that puts pressure on the batting team. It opens the field up. People start coming out of the slips court and they start spreading the field, and I think that's the key for Australia. Well, as in like the challenge for Australia is can Weatherald be that guy for Australia to take the pressure off from Khawaja? Can they make an opening stand? I think to think about this, being in America now and getting involved in fantasy football, it's given me like a different perspective and looking at how I'm looking at the teams now. I feel the real key to this whole series is Crawley Duckett. If they get to drinks, if they put up a good 60, 70, 100 runs not out, I'm more in favor of them being able to do that than Khawaja and Weatherald being able to do that. And if they set that up, that sets up everyone else in the English lineup.
I agree, and that's why Hazelwood's such a massive miss, because up top, he's great to lefties. He doesn't miss, and I think that's a massive loss. He would probably cause a lot of trouble to Ben Duckett, because his natural length is full and he's got like a nice bit of bounce. So I think that's a huge loss, and it's hopefully England can capitalise on that first test.
Yeah. I mean, obviously Scotty Boland will do a great job. He still should get a lot of good wickets. Doggett, haven't watched a lot of him play. Still, obviously, he's been bowling very well. Took a fifer. You always hope he does well. But I think, the key is that opening position. And I don't like the feeling of putting it onto your bowlers. Like Australia has, obviously, with these these injuries, Cummins, Stark, Hazelwood, Lyon. That is the best 4 in Test cricket. And it's been the best 4 for a while. Australia's 6 other batters and their keeper hasn't been the best 6 batters and keeper in Test cricket, which is why they haven't been the best.
As a 6.
But they've gotten out of jail from their bowlers.
Yeah.
Their bowlers have gotten them out of jail, and we're going to run into a situation where they're not going to have their best 4 bowlers, and can their batters get them enough runs, and can the bowlers get them out of jail? Because if they lose the toss, get sent in, we're in a situation where they're all out for less than 200. That could be a reality on a fresh, green, moving deck at the Wacker. You know what I mean?
Optus
Stadium. I don't think I can get away from calling it the Wacker, but I think that is the key. Moving down one spot, Lavishame, he's built his way back into this side. He's scoring runs. He scored 500s. He got another 50 against WA.
Played great cricket this week.
He went home and played some grade cricket. Now scored some more runs there.
Loves it.
I kind of wrote him off last year, and I made a couple of videos and clips about how he was consistently getting out the same way. I'm in the same boat with Usman Khawaja. Usman Khawaja squares himself up. Lavishane steps far across his crease. Struggles against the in-swinging delivery. Bumrah just had his number. He was getting him out plumb LB, and he was throwing the bat out to balls.
At that point, Bumrah has a lot of people's number.
Bumrah has a lot of people's number. That's right. So it's going to be interesting to see if they have the same style of attack to have the ball swinging back into the stumps. Because as you come down the lift, Smith does the exact same thing. They have similar actions, stepping across the stumps. People talk about Smith, it's hard to bowl to Smith and Fogg in the blender. And you know that he's stepping across his stumps, and you know that early he has that tendency of struggling with this in-swinging ball also. He actually gets a lot of wickets actually nicking the ball down leg side.
Yeah.
He nicks the leg side. So he's most vulnerable on those first few balls. Once he gets to those first few balls, he's probably away, and now it's like it really is a frog in a blender. You don't know where to bowl to him.
Yeah. To that point, I think England, if he does get in, they will go around the wicket. A bit like the clips of Neil Wagner.
Yeah.
They'll attack his armpit and maybe use the leg slip, leg gully, two men back, because
and I love that. I love defensive as on the bowling side as captaining. You're like, you want to pin someone down, just come around the wicket. And just get bang it in at their body. Like, what are they going to do? You can't hit it through the covers. You can't hit it off through point. You're just tied up.
Yeah.
You set your field leg side. What are you going to do? You know what I mean?
Good players will get through it, and I'm sure he will at point. But I think with England ball and attack, there's a lot of pace, a lot of bounce. So it's going to be an exciting passage of play.
Exciting play. Coming down to Travis Head. Travis Head, very exciting. I can see him having a struggle against Joff.
Yeah.
He struggles against the ball swinging in. So the ball swinging into him as a left-hander, he gets done through the gate a lot. Through the gate. Nice and full, through the gate. Stumps getting skittled. That's Travis Head is. Now again, he's probably can go out there. He's going to score 100, or he's going to go out there and score a duck. Sometimes that's how it's a little bit how he plays.
What the duck?
What the duck? Yes, but you would think you hope as an Australian, you always hope that they put together big partnerships and they put together some good runs. You got to be able to do that to win Test cricket. You can't just have the back of one person trying to save the innings. You got to be able to put some partnerships together, put up some big scores because you got to get over 300. You know, you got to get over 300, 350. And I mean, in these days in Test cricket, 350 is a good score. You know what I mean? Like, but going to the days back, you think of the Hayden and Ponting days, like, they'd put up 550. They'd put up, the Lakshman days and the Dravid days.
It's 350 in a day, though, now.
Yeah. But, like, for the first inning score of 350 is, like, you think you're all good. But, I think of the era when I grew up watching cricket. I grew up watching Hayden, Langer, War, Ponting, like, these guys. You look at the score, it's like 550. You know, and not everyone's out yet. You know, we're going to have a declare, right? Have a declare. Those days are kind of by the wayside. I don't know too many tests of recent year where it's like, oh yeah, we put up 500-600 and we're going to declare.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So with these spicy wickets, they want them spicier. They want the action in. Do you think it's going to go 5 days? You think Perth will go 5 days?
No, I think it'll go 4 days.
4 days?
Yeah. So you happy? England squad?
England squad. Looking over to the England squad. I didn't even get the way through my bowlers. Lock Carey in. He's good. Love Carey. Carey's my favorite person on the team.
I like Carey.
Carey's underrated. He could be an opener. I think he could be an opener. I just got a little thing there for
Was that your free hit?
That's probably my free hit. Yeah, Carey.
I would challenge that.
Carey to for their review. Yes. So I think I covered all my bases over here.
And we talked about the bowlers with Jimmy, didn't we?
Boland's gonna go well. Starkey, we haven't mentioned about Starkey at all, but he's gonna be ripping and tearing in.
He's do damage. He'll do
some damage. He's gonna have the number of Cooley or Duckett. That's his number. He's got that, etched that in. And obviously, when we move to the Gabba test, he'll be obviously the forefront of the conversation. Switching over to England, their lineup is basically locked in. There's been no real problems for England. We know what's coming. Are they going to go with off Joff and Wood?
I think we're going to go Duckett, Crawley, Pope, Root, Brook, Stokes, Smith, and then I was thinking, do they throw in Will Jacks?
Do they?
Or because of a lot of injuries to the bowlers, you're going to have Archer, Wood, Gus Atkinson, Bryden Cars. That's what I think. Are they going to bring in Will Jacks because he does bowl some good spin? But looking at that wicket,
do you need the spin?
I'm not sure
at
you
the
do.
Whacker?
But also he smacks it. He's a proper batter, right? He bats.
Proper batter.
Opens T20 for Surrey, for England. Didn't he just win the IPL?
Do you need the extra batter?
You don't. But also,
are you backing Rudy to get the other runs? Are you backing Stokesy to be your guy?
I think England will go out and out pace.
Out and out pace.
Yeah, four seamers and Stokesy.
I'm for out and out pace. So their spinner is Root. Okay, so now you're actually moving my train of thought to somewhere else. There's no because Australia go with their hardline spinner. Nathan Lyon, 500 plus test wickets.
I just don't think they'll use him too much on that wicket.
You don't use him? Well, so what's the strategy behind that, though? So you got your frontline spinner, you got him in the team. He's only going to bowl. You're not going to bowl him. You're going to save him to the end. And in that last,
I think with him,
couple of days.
Actually, I'll go back on my point. He's a very good bowler. He's very savvy. I think you can bowl him. If it's what was one is he's famously said, if it seems, it spins.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's going to make something happen. He's a tight ball. If it's not spin, he can bowl stump to stump. He can create pressure.
Yes.
So I think they will use him in periods in the first.
And also to get through the over rate. Big thing. England predominantly slow on their over rates. They got penalised a lot during the last World Championship round. You know, they can't afford to do that. They lost. They technically would have made it to the final if they didn't have that overrate penalties. I think that's obviously a big issue in Test cricket is this overrate scenario. But yeah, down the lineup, you know, it would be disappointing for England if they didn't get a win this first one. Knowing with everything coming up, they're like, we've got this advantage, we've got this advantage, we have this advantage, we've come with a full squad. It would be disappointing. England would be demoralized, I think, if they couldn't get a win out of this first test.
I agree. I think, especially with the two big guys injured, two of the best bowlers in the world, I think you've got to capitalise on this first test. If England win, then the momentum shifts, right? Because all the pressure's on. Australia's never lost with a pink ball. I don't think they have to win. They should win. But if England come straight from a win, they're full of confidence. Yeah. They're going to just keep getting better and better.
Can you imagine, though? Like, imagine this shift. Imagine the shift as a nation, both sides of the coin. England win Perth. England win at the Gabba. Like it's alarm bells for Australian cricket. Like, it would be absolute calamity. Like,
especially for the old bowlers, I know it very well, that the injury creeps up on you, you know?
That would be... Jimmy was talking about storylines. Imagine if England go 2-0 up. That would be absolute... And then you got to consider the injuries in around it too. That would be...
The best team will manage injuries well. Simple as that.
Best team managing...
A little bit of luck.
A little bit of luck. You need a little bit of luck.
Or it's just the expertise of the physio. You know?
A little bit of luck. Let's do a quick off the cuff here. Top run scorer for the series, Liam.
Top run scorer of the series is going to be, it's easy. I'll say, it's Smith, but I'm actually not. I'm going to go, it's got to be Root.
It's got to be Root?
Yeah, it's got to be Root.
Got to be Joe Root. You got to say Joe Root. I got to say Steve Smith. It's got to be Steve Smith, right?
I mean, you got two of the best players in the game. It's got to be. I think Root will adjust, and I think he'll score some heavy runs.
To be real honest, I want to see him score 100. There's no allegiances, no whatever. As a pure cricket lover, I need him to score 100. I need him to score 100. I love him to do it at, Boxing Day, just score 100. I think he needs to score 100. I'm rooting for Root to score. My average Joe right here, mate. I got you right here. You might get a little upgrade from the average Joe mug if you score 100. What should we do for him if he gets 100? I'll upgrade him. I'll just get him a bigger head. I'll get a bigger head. We'll get a giant cutout. And it'll be 100. It'll be 100 Joe. We'll get a framed
Joe.
We'll get a framed picture of him scoring his 100 at wherever it is, and we'll put it up in the background.
Get him in like a nice venti cup, like a nice venti cup of Joe, venti Joe.
A bigger cup. Most wickets in the series. Most wickets. Who's our star bowler?
I think the person who's going to bowl the most overs, maybe not the first test, is going to be Nathan Lyon, and I think he's always going to be someone who's going to have probably the most wickets.
Ooh, okay. Wow. Stark doesn't bowl the most. He's probably the lesser. He bowls a little less overs. So why not? Let's just go. Scotty Boland's and Joffre.
I'm thinking of the consistency. Are they going to play every test?
Right. He's going to play
Lyon
every game.
will play every test,
unless he gets injured. Right. Think about injuries.
Rolls his ankle.
I think he rolls his ankle. Yeah. Geez. Yeah. Right. Let's just go a hero Scotty Boland story. Let's just go a hero Scotty. Someone's always out. He's always in. And he just becomes the hero for Australia.
He just knows Scotty B knows the place to be.
Scotty Boland, 6 for 7. Build the man a statue, team. That's cricket. That is your wrap. Let us know your comments below, all your thoughts on the Ashes, who your favorite top run scorer is going to be, who you think top bowler is going to be, your predictions. We would love to see it in the chat. Liam, any final words?
That's cricket.
That's cricket, guys.